Hi. Sorry I'm so washed out. The sun isn't even coming in directly through this window. The sun is over there. The sun is over there where she's supposed to be. I don't know. And this camera is completely in Japanese, so I can't fix the lighting levels. Anyways, just real quick, the past few videos that I've uploaded have been chonkers, and so this will just be a quick little reading update. I went to the library yesterday, so just showing you what I picked up from there, and that should be it. So let's go ahead and get straight into it, because clearly I like running my mouth on the interwebs. But anyways, not even 15 minutes ago, I finished reading Water Moon by Samantha Soto Yambao. Y'all know I've been like on a streak of reading as many books as my eyeballs will let me that take place in Japan, specifically in Tokyo. Reading about where I live has just been an incredible journey. And so a quick backstory on this. This just came out this year. It's currently February 2025, and this is a 2025 release. I'm not normally one to constantly read new releases, but in January, I turned 22 for the 11th time, and so I went to the bookstore downtown and just literally bought whatever I wanted to. I didn't let myself think about a budget because I don't often buy new books to begin with. So I just bought whatever I wanted to, and this was one of those books. It is so pretty. I have been so in love with so many of the covers of books lately. Oh wow, that's so, you can't see it because it's so washed out. But anyways, so I had no idea what this was about when I picked it up, but I did see a lot of people were very hype about it. To be honest, I'm not really familiar with books of this genre, so I'm not really sure how this is categorized on Goodreads and other places, but essentially this follows our main character Hana, and her dad own a pawn shop, but this pawn shop is in a different dimension, world, universe, MCU, I don't know. And so there is a ramen shop out in Gifu, and if you walk into this ramen shop but you end up in the pawn shop instead of in the ramen shop, that means that you are living kind of with a huge regret. You made a big decision in your life and you're kind of doubting if that was the right choice or not. And the idea is that when you go to this magical pawn shop, you can essentially sell that choice to the owners of the pawn shop, so Hana and her dad. And that way, when you leave the pawn shop and you've left your choice behind, you're no longer haunted by all of the regret and the burden of like living with whatever choice you may or may not have taken, right? Anyways, so the first, I'd say half of this was 5 stars. But then it kind of dragged towards the middle. But then when I tell y'all, the last, I'll say like the last like 70-ish pages of this book, if I could give it 6 stars, I was sitting here. That's actually why I just brought the camera in here. I was sitting in here reading this, like finishing it up. I was fighting back tears. And I'm not usually a girly to cry when I read, and I don't think that's more to do with the types of books that I read than it has anything to do with me. But y'all see the tabby tabs? Y'all see the tabby tabs? When she said, "I'm sorry I'm late," oh, girl, oh. Okay, see, I said I wasn't gonna ramble. Let's get into it. So, I got a bunch of books from the biblioteca that I'm going to tell you about. Let's go ahead and get this one out the way. This is The Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. I I'm not going to go too deep into this because I'm pretty sure everyone has at least heard of this, if not have read it by now. So the thing is, I am pretty sure I did finish this, because I borrowed this exact copy actually from the library at some point last year. It's just I don't remember how it ends. And so I'm going to start like roughly halfway through it and see. I'm just going to keep skimming until I get to something that I don't remember. Or who knows, maybe I did read the whole thing and there was really no point in me borrowing this. But I just can't for the life of me. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but after old dude gets called back from the place that he went, and he was with the person that, I don't remember what happened after that. But anyways, so yeah, this. And then I was actually kind of surprised. So my library is very small. And like a lot of, if you live in like a rural area, I mean, I don't now, but for a big portion of my life, I lived in a rural area. I'm from South Carolina. And so when I've gone into small libraries in like more country areas, you know that like smaller libraries, it seems like they acquired 90% of their books in the 80s and the 90s and then haven't purchased a single book since then. And that's kind of the vibes that I get from my local library. So I was actually kind of surprised to see a very, very small handful of new releases yesterday. One of them being James by Percival Everett. I have not read anything by Percival Everett. And I'm going to say this. Okay. I am very hesitant going into this because is this something I need to unpack in this video? You know what? Hell, I do what I want. Hopefully this video isn't too long. As I mentioned, I am from South Carolina. I lived the first 27 years of my life in South Carolina, right? Having grown up in such an incredibly racially hostile environment for the large portion of my life, or for a large portion of my life, reading about Black experiences, I always appreciate it. I'm always so thankful that it exists. And, you know, we need to never stop ushering publication of Black voices in the Black experience. However, I find that a lot of time for me personally, it ends up being more triggering than entertaining. And I'm very, very glad that a lot of people get a lot out of books like this. And I need to be more brave in the things that I read, which is why I picked this up. Because, you know, these types of stories are important. Now, obviously, this is a retelling of a fictional story. I get it. But this was written because it's giving a voice and a story to a Black character who didn't really have much of an arc in the original story, right? But, you know, I am going to take care of myself, though. If while I'm reading this, I find that I'm having very, very bad thoughts and feelings, and I'm feeling more negatively than positively towards my experience, then I'll stop reading it. But I do at least want to give it a shot. I can't just keep hiding from things because they make me uncomfortable. And, you know, this is growth. Okay, I could go on like a whole spiel and not rant, but like a whole spiel about that, but I won't, because that's not what y'all here for. Kind of going within the same vibe of Japanese literature or Japanese inspired stories. This is Tokyo Ueno Station by Yu Muri, and no idea what this is about, but let me tell you, when I was at the bookstore for my birthday and I was picking up all these books, I did buy quite a few short novels, you know, Days at the Murasaki bookshop or bookstore, The Convenience Store Woman, you know, I bought, what is it? Oh, Goodnight Tokyo. But can someone explain to me, someone who is more informed and more intelligent than I am, why are shorter books either more expensive or just as expensive as full-length novels. Because I had seen this in the store. I had seen it. However, this is the English edition, and I think the one there, no, it would have been the same, but they just had the price covered up to reflect the yen instead of USD. But $25? Let's take a look at this. And I don't have large hands. $25 where? Ma'am. And I'm not saying ma'am as in the writer of this book, because that has nothing to do with her. But 180 pages. 180 pages. $25. No, ma'am. So when I saw it in La Biblioteca, I just went ahead and grabbed it. Once again, no idea what it's about. That is my favorite way to go into books, because I feel like whenever I read the synopsis, I go into a book with a certain expectation, and the large majority of the time, those expectations are never met. Okay. I don't know. This is Tampa by Alyssa Nutting. I'm going to put up the other cover of this, because even though I still don't think I really know what this is about, I still feel like this cover that I'm putting on the screen is far more reflective of the actual vibes of the book. But I also understand why this is alternate cover that they have for libraries and probably, some bookstores in certain areas. Not gonna read the synopsis, just gonna go into it. If you would like to usher me a warning in the comments, go ahead and do so. Because I didn't spend money on it. So if it's something I don't need to read, just please tell me that, okay? And then I had no business picking this up either. Because I am on a streak. So here's the thing. There are two types of reading slumps. By the way, the book that I'm holding is World Without End by Ken Follett. This is the second book in the Kingsbridge series, universe, whatever you want to call it. Okay, there's two types of reading slumps. There's one that I get in after I've read a really, really bad book. Here are some examples on the screen of bad books that I've read that made me regret being fluent in the English language. And then there's other books that are so fucking good, it's like, well, what the hell am I supposed to read after this? I just read one of the best things ever. And that is how I felt after reading The Pillars of the Earth, which is the first book in this series. I had no business picking up this big ass book, because I've been on a reading streak. I've been doing so well. I've been reading a little bit every day. I've been killing it. I think as of today, I've read 18 books since the beginning of the year, which for me is phenomenal. But this is going to put me in the biggest reading slump. I'm going to read this and not want to taint my eyeballs with anything else afterwards. So I don't know why I picked this up. But see, here's the thing. I walked past it and I turned the corner, and then I backpedaled all the way back and I grabbed her off the shelf. So it is my fault. I'm the only one to blame for that. Last but certainly, last but certainly not least, we have 1984 by George Orwell. I have a lot to say about this one. I guess this video is just me ragging on being from South Carolina. No, this was never required reading for me in high school. I was in honors English classes all through high school. I was too lazy to do AP. But the point is, I don't know if any of my friends either in school were required to read this, and as an adult I just never thought to pick it up. But with recent global events, I have been inspired to read this, and in the car, I think yesterday, I made it to page 14, because that's where my receipt is. I made it to page 14, and what? The last time I can't think of a time where I've read a book and almost immediately needed to buy my own copy of it. As far as library books or reading an ebook or something. It has been very few times, I think, total in my reading journey where I've been reading an ebook or listening to an audiobook or reading a library book and almost immediately wanted to buy my own copy. But I'm 14 pages into this, and I immediately was looking up to see if the bookstore downtown has a copy of this. What? I can see why a lot of entities want to ban this, because what is happening right now is this. Like, we are this. This is we, and we are this. Also, I have also, in addition, have never seen a book that has collectively worse covers than 1984. I was looking at all of I just realized I was just going to say that this one is probably the best cover. Y'all, the numbers are made out of eyeballs. I understand that, like, Big Brother is watching you, that whole thing. I understand that the eyeball symbolism will probably become even more apparent in the, later parts of this story. But the covers for this book are awful. They're all so bad. Girl, I want something cute. Get something for the girlies. Get a little hand-drawn section. There's literally a cover of this book with a girlie in a hazmat suit, and it's just like a Shutterstock photo. What are we doing? I don't know. But anyways, so I am definitely going to just start reading this. Now this will be my read probably for the rest of the weekend. And that is it. I'm done. I'm done. The blabbing has ceased. I am setting you free. Thank you so much for your support. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.